Hi guys, I'm so happy to welcome you on my channel. Today I thought I'd do an ASMR video that I myself would thoroughly enjoy watching, and that is about animes. You just know how much I love animes. Those of you who follow me on my Instagram or Facebook page definitely would know that. I also had a few videos in Japanese. Actually, the video in Japanese is probably one of my most popular videos on my channel. And I thought I would share with you my top favorite animes. Let's say top 5 favorite animes of all time. Before I start, I want to ask you to help me find an anime that I'm looking for, and actually I've been looking for years, but I cannot find it. And the reason for that is that I watched it many years ago and I do not remember the name or the plot very well. But there are some things that I remember that I will share with you, like little bits and pieces, and hopefully you'll help me find it. Okay, so it was the action, everything happened in a castle in the sky. It was a castle, or maybe it was a mansion, but I think it was a castle, and this castle was in the clouds, and it was connected to Earth by a big fat tall tree. And there is this young girl and the older woman who lived there, and maybe this older woman was her stepmother, because she was not treating this girl properly. She was very mean. And maybe she was the queen, or like the owner of the house. I just don't remember very well. But one thing I remember was that this big castle that was in the clouds in the sky was connected to Earth by a big fat tree, like a really tall tree that was growing from Earth up until the sky. And one day the castle started breaking down and just falling apart. I don't know why that happened. I don't remember. And there was this little man who convinced this girl to climb down the tree. And this girl climbed down the tree to Earth, and everything that was in the clouds just started breaking down. But they climbed down the tree, and I think the movie ended. I know this is really chaotic what I just said, but I really want to watch it because I do remember that I actually really liked it, but I just don't remember. So please help me find this anime. And also, one thing I remember very well was that they didn't have big eyes. The characters like this queen or the stepmother or the little girl, they had rather elongated faces and small eyes. That's what I remember very well. Okay, hopefully there will be some of you out there who will be able to help me find what I'm looking for. Okay, now let's begin and start off my top 5 favorite anime. So the first anime that I want to tell you about that is a huge favorite of mine, and I've seen it numerous times. And if you haven't seen it, you must watch it. It's House Moving Castle. House Moving Castle. It's by Studio Gilby, by Hayako Miyazaki, and I really love the animes by Studio Gilby. I think they're the best of the best of the best. So, House Moving Castle is about this town that is at war, but it seems like, an ordinary town. It's just at war because their princess disappeared, and there is this wizard that everyone is whispering about. His name is Howl, and what he does is that he steals beautiful girls' hearts. It's an anime really filled with wizards and magic and mystery, but Howl is by far the most famous wizard that they know of. And in this town, there is this girl, Sophia, or Sophie. She's a really modest, even a little bit of a mousy girl, and she's working at a family hat shop. She's making hats. And one day, she decides to visit her sister, who's working in a different shop. And her sister is really pretty and really popular among guys. On the way to her sister's place, Sophie bumps into Howl. But surprisingly, Howl's very nice to her, and he doesn't steal her heart at all. And she says when she meets later her sister and they're discussing this incident, she says, well, because he only steals hearts of beautiful girls, and I'm not. So everything seems to be fine. However, when she returns to the hat shop, it turns out that her meeting with Howl has angered another very powerful witch. And this witch turns out to her hat shop and casts a terrible, terrible spell on Sophie, turning her into a 90-year-old woman. And the worst thing is that she doesn't tell Sophie how to break the spell. She just says that Sophie cannot tell anyone about the spell, otherwise she will stay old forever and she'll never be able to break the spell. The next day, and do not worry, this is not like a spoiler, it's just at the very beginning. This anime is really filled with action and interesting storyline. So just at the very beginning you get just a whole wave of awesome things that happen to the characters. Really interesting. It really gets you involved into the story. So the next day Sophia leaves the home and she has to do it very secretly, carefully, so that nobody sees her, and that's when her adventures begin. She leaves home, goes away to find a way to break the spell. I hope that you do you watch this anime, Howl's Moving Castle, because no matter how old are you, um, no matter whether you're a girl, boy, man, woman, whatever you are, this is a really fantastic movie that will just, help you escape from this world for about 2 hours. I think that's 2 hours long. And you won't even notice how the time flies because it's a really wonderful and magical world. And when the movie ends, you'll be a little sad that, you're back to reality. The next anime that I decided to include in my list of top 5 best animes of all time is Spirited Away. Spirited Away. And Spirited Away is again an anime by Studio Gilby by Hayako Miyazaki, and it's actually even got an Oscar. It's very well known anime, so if you haven't seen it, then you've missed out on something great. And an interesting thing is that Hayako Miyazaki, he never writes the script. He actually just draws and draws and draws until it, turns into a storyline. So that's a really unique way of working, isn't it? So Spirited Away is again a fantastic anime filled with so much magic, and it's so different to every other movie or an anime filled with magic. All of the creatures, they're just so unique. You really get into some sort of a dream, and you know how with some movies the wizards and these magical creatures can look alike? Here, Hayako Miyazaki's fantasy just completely blows your mind. And also, one thing that I love about it is that it's not based on a typical love story, which a lot of movies are based on, and there's nothing wrong with love stories. But it's just nice to have something different every once in a while. So Spirited Away tells the story of this little girl who is moving to another place with her parents. The little girl's name is Tehero. And on their way, her father gets them a little bit lost, and he's like, okay, we'll take the shorter road. And they get lost, and they get into this weird place that her father thinks is a theme park. But Taro doesn't like this place. She thinks it's weird, it's odd. But her parents really love it, and they decide to explore it. Obviously, they've been, driving all day long, and they get really hungry. And once they get into the park a little bit further, they see that their table set full of food. But there is nobody there. It's like, it looks really remote. But for some reason there's plenty of food, and I think, oh well, the owners are probably away now. We'll start eating, and then when they return, we'll pay. Tehero is not hungry, so she leaves her parents and goes away exploring the park. However, when the sun starts setting down, she realizes that it's not a theme park. All of a sudden, wizards and weird creatures start appearing as the sun is setting down, and she realizes that she herself is starting to disappear. And then, when she runs to her parents to ask her to leave this place, she doesn't find her parents. Instead, she finds two big fat pigs dressed as her parents. She's really scared and she runs away, and then if I continue telling you the story, then I'll be a spoiler, really. So I want this anime is suitable for, again, everyone. If your kid is like 10 years old, if you're 40 years old, I think you're gonna like it. And it's a really breathtaking experience to just escape into this world where a little human finds herself, where everyone in fact hates humans. And she's got to find a way to get away, to not completely disappear because she starts getting transparent, and to find her parents. I highly recommend you watch this if you haven't already. If you have, then you know what I'm talking about. This is so good. I think I've watched this so many times, and I never get tired of it because there are things that really you cannot get tired of. They're just that good. Anime number 3 that I'd like to tell you about is Princess Mononoke. Princess Mononoke. And Princess Mononoke is another fascinating anime by Studio Gilby and Hayako Miyazaki. I just happen to love Hayako Miyazaki. And Princess Mononoke is a historical anime, and the main issue in this anime is like the environment, the forest, because the story is that the forest gods are angry with humans because humans are not treating the forest right, and they send a curse on humans, and by that a lot of the creatures and some of the humans turn into beasts. And the movie starts with a beast attacking the village of humans, and everyone is panicking, but luckily before the beast actually reaches humans, the prince of the village is able to kill him. But while he actually manages to kill the beast, he gets infected by this curse, meaning that he, after a while, slowly will turn into a beast too. In the evening, all of the elderly and wise people gather together and they have a meeting, and they say that unfortunately there is no cure for that. And this prince, this guy, he has to leave the village and maybe find a way to, break this spell, this curse that's on him, and somehow talk to the forest gods and and so that people and the forest are united again. It's a very engaging story because I remember the first time I watched it, my mom was in the room with us and she was just, watching it too, and my mom doesn't care about anime. But when the movie ended, she said, wow, this was good. She said it's really engaging because I didn't think I would like it, but I really did. So, Princess Mononoke would be again my third choice. And I hope that you do watch it. It's different from the previous two because again, that's the storyline is a little bit different. Here you get another issue. And by the way, everything is happening in a forest that actually exists in Japan. So, I think Hayao Miyazaki was not just thinking about creating an interesting anime for everyone to watch, but he really wanted to raise some issues about the environment, but he did it through, again, the magical creatures and the world of fantasy that he usually is so good at creating. So I hope you do watch Princess Mononoke if you haven't already, and I know that you will like it. I just know it because it's impossible not to like this. The next anime on my list is like a little pearl because it's not well known at all, even within people who actually enjoy anime. It's not by Studio Ghibli or Hayao Miyazaki. It is not appropriate for children since it's very dark, not for kids at all. And the anime I'm talking about is Pet Shop of Horrors. Pet Shop of Horrors. Pet Shop of Horrors. Have you seen Pet Shop of Horrors? I doubt it. Very few people have. I have. And I really enjoyed it. So, Pet Shop of Horrors is a really dark anime. It's, judging by the name, it is a few episodes, and the only thing I don't like about this is that it only has 4 episodes so far, and definitely after 4 episodes you still want more because each story in these episodes, although involving around the same pet shop of horrors, is very unique and really interesting. The story of Pet Shop of Horrors revolves around this pet shop that's in Chinatown, and it's under investigation because strange things happen to the customers of this pet shop. But the police has no proof, no actual proof. The owner of this pet shop is this lean, tall guy who actually looks Japanese to me because the Japanese have more elongated faces and the Chinese have more wide faces. So for some reason, despite the fact that his pet shop is in Chinatown, I think he's Japanese. He's very lean and almost in every scene he's wearing a different stylish kimono. He has a very slow and a very mysterious voice and way of speaking. And he's selling pets, but these pets are not usual pets, of course, although they do seem like just normal pets to other people. However, these pets always come with a list of instructions and rules that cannot be broken under any circumstances. And each pet comes with its individual set of rules. The only rule that's the same for every single pet is that the owner cannot show this pet to anyone. Never, ever, ever. Otherwise, terrible things, weird things might happen to them, and if any of the rules are broken in this contract, the pet shop doesn't carry any responsibility of what might actually happen. I will tell you only the beginning of the first episodes. It's not the story of the first episode, it's just the very beginning, a separate little story. So the first episode starts off with a phone call. A phone call to this pet shop by a really angry customer. And this customer is saying, I bought a tiger from you. You said that this is an actual real tiger. But it's just a picture. It's just a picture of a tiger. There isn't a real tiger in the picture. I showed it to my friends and they laughed at me because it was just a picture. I want my money back and stuff like that. So really, really angry. And the owner, in his very quiet and calm voice, says, "So, sir, you admit that you've broken the rule of the contract. Do not show the pet to anyone." And this man says, "Yes, but there is no tiger. It's just a picture. You lied to me." And the owner is like, "Well, sir, then unfortunately we do not carry any responsibility if you have broken the rule of the contract." And the customer is on the phone and he doesn't realize what's going on. And then the next scene is this picture of a tiger, and suddenly this tiger comes alive and he basically attacks this man who was calling. And then we hear weird noises that are telling us that the man is being eaten by the tiger. So this is only the very beginning of the episode. All of the stories that come next are obviously longer, and they also have a certain philosophy, each of them. It's like a certain thing you learn about greed, about letting go, about this ability of saying no, certain sins that people have that they get punished for. I hope you do watch Pet Shop of Horrors. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's only 4 episodes. Should have been more, but I'm sure you'll thoroughly enjoy all the 4 episodes if you like dark animes. And it's based on manga stories that was quite popular in Japan. The stories are longer, of course, they have more parts to them, episodes to them, but the actual anime is only 4 episodes. So watch Pet Shop of Horrors. And finally, the last anime that I'll talk about is an anime I talked about in my "Oh yes, Parasite. And Parasite is very popular nowadays amongst anime lovers. So if you love anime, I think you have watched it. It's an anime series. It has 25 episodes, and it's basically telling the story of these parasites that come to Earth, and they kill the humans but inhabit their bodies. So they take over their bodies, and people around are thinking that this is a normal human, but it's not. It's just a body, and inside the body there lives a parasite who kills people. And the reason they do it is because they think people are irrational creatures. However, one time, one of these parasites fails to completely get off the body of a schoolboy that he attacks. So he fails to kill him, and instead of inhabiting all of his body and getting control of all of his body, he can only control his hand. And this boy is just, an ordinary boy. He goes to high school, and first he doesn't understand what's going on. And then he learns about these parasites, and there are other parasites trying to kill him too, but he has a mission in his head that he has to save the world from these creatures. And I have to say that the first 6 episodes are extremely engaging, because the first 6 episodes or 7 episodes is just that you really get into the story, and after that it's a lot of fight scenes. So I know that people who like a lot of fighting and blood, they will enjoy it. For me, it was getting a little too much, and somewhere in the middle, but it's definitely an anime worth watching, and it's very dark, not for children again, but very engaging, I think, and quite a good story. And I know that when I finished watching it, I actually checked the reviews after, and there were a lot of people who said that they were left crying in the end. I didn't cry, but I quite enjoyed it. So I hope that you like it too if you haven't seen it. So I guess this is it. These were my top 5 anime at the very moment. An anime that I really want to watch, I haven't seen yet, is The Grave of Nightingales. I think that's how it's called. The Grave of Nightingales. I know it's a very good anime because, again, people who don't like anime, who have seen it, they say that it's just amazing. I think the reason why I'm not watching it, I haven't watched it, is because I want to still have things to experience in the future. I don't want to watch all the greatest animes and then, because I think when you read a really good book, watch a really good movie, then you become a little jealous for people who haven't, because then they can still discover this world. They are still to feel all of this magic for the first time, and for you already had it. But I will watch it, and I hope that you too recommend me wonderful animes to watch, your favorite help me find the anime that I'm looking for about this castle with this older and younger girls in there that is in the clouds, in the sky, in the clouds, and is connected to Earth by this fat, long tree, and this older woman is treating this girl really badly because maybe it's her stepmother, and in the end this castle starts, falling into pieces, and the girl climbs down to Earth by this long tree with this little man, and the anime ends. This is just so chaotic, but I really want to find it. Okay, so this was it. I hope that you enjoyed it. I really love animes, so I really enjoyed making this. Usually by the end of my ASMR videos, sometimes I myself get sleepy, but now I feel so energized, which is a good thing, right? Sometimes you get relaxed and full of energy at the same time. So, I wish you all the best. I wish you a good day if you're watching this during the day. Good night if you're watching this during the night. And, what can I say? See you in my next video.